Was it Michael? You wanted me to give you the number? The vintage guy?
I did.
Hmm. We'll start in a minute, Mike. Eh?
Okay, we're streaming now, so whenever you're ready.
I've never been ready, bro. Literally never. It all starts before me.
Yeah, it's the language.
Yeah, it just starts before you.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, it looks like we have some heavyweights here today. Yes. So David Lowe, at least 30 years of seeking in his under his belt. We got Mike Clark coming in with a 40 kilos of seeking, maybe more. John Kay, geez, he's carrying a lot of years. Stephen Mack, Kerry,
Never searched a day in my life.
that's it shows. Yeah, that's the truth. That's good.
Yes, thank you.
Michael, Michael Stacy. He was too busy going to the FBI school. Yeah. He knows how to dismantle a gun very quickly. Yeah. Oh, there's Mia. Mia, she's in a new house.
Ooh.
She can actually
Thank you.
spread her
Hello.
arms and her legs and not hit a wall.
Oh, thank you.
There's
Wow.
windows. There's
Great.
something called windows.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty grateful for this. Amazing. Thank
She's living at the lagoon around here. Very beautiful spot.
you. Yeah. Very special spot indeed.
Yes. In the
Very
winter, our friend Z lived in this house who passed away a couple of years ago. You may have, he was a big member of our group uh, way before the Zooms. He lived on that lagoon. Yeah. So it's getting passed on. It's not bad. We lived down the street for a year, 13 months. Yeah. We got kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
Thank you.
the realtor was an Adyashanti devotee. He kicked us out. Tried it after 12 months. It took a month to get us out of there. All right. Well, welcome everyone.
Thank you.
This is what is it? What's who's to awaken into what? Or what is to awaken to who? Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm just going to read the divine scriptures of Zen Bitsa. Just simple. Two-folded thing. That's all. Yeah. First, there is no greater mystery. So, yeah. So there is no greater mystery than this. So there's nothing beyond this. That being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. We have a similar, it's more easily described in the recovery thing. Yeah. We have a dilemma there where there's a fact of life presented by our community to other people in the community, and that self can't get out of self. Yes. But, and then when you hear that, or actually something way before it, and then you see exactly that. Yeah. Now you suddenly are somewhat illuminated about self, but you're not illuminated about the self that's represented as Paul. Yeah. So you now see self and you see all the movements to get out of self, but they seem to be completely logical if seen as Paul. Yeah. And so Paul, aka self, makes a whole lot of sense to get out of self. Because sometimes underneath this mental, emotional narration, it's like your house is on fire quite a lot and you want to get out, you want to escape. Yeah. You don't understand that the fire starter is you. It's a weird thing. So in AA, one of the greatest mysteries is self can't get out of self, and yet it keeps continually trying to get out of self. So the greatest mystery in non-duality from the godfather of non-duality is that being ourselves reality, which would obviously negate the idea we're self in the AA version, being ourselves reality, we seek to gain reality. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, when we're seeking to gain reality, we have an idea what reality is, and that idea does not apply to us as what we're appearing to be. Yes, we're trying to get out of that quote unquote reality and find a better reality or a real reality or whatever. Yes. So uh, the fact of being ourselves reality seems to escape us as the mental activity. It's stubborn, very stubborn. And so if you hear this, when I heard this, there is no greater mystery than this, that being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. I felt that a lot. Yeah. I felt years of doing just that. It just was amazing. I had an intimate, like that bell rang and it rang uninterrupted for a while. Yeah. It just kept, it like vibrated through my whole life story. And I was like, what? Yes. Yeah. It's like when I realized I'm never going to ask a question. It was one of those things. Yeah. Not that there's right or wrong in asking the question. It's just that the constant asking of questions may be reinforcing something that you'd rather have weakened by the answers to the questions. It may be doing the exact opposite of what you are. And that was the case with me. There's no real right and wrong, question or no question. But in my case, yeah, it had run its course. Yeah. And now it had been serving, let's say, the wrong master. Yeah. The seeking of knowledge. So this hit me very strongly. That's why I like this statement a lot because it explained not entertaining or microscopically going over the particulars, but the pattern of how my life moved, like what moved it to go this way and what moved it to go that way. And of course, the narrative tries to keep up and said, I moved it to go this way. I moved it. But in fact, there's a movement and then there's a story about the movement. There's not a story. And sometimes the movement is completely doesn't fit the story whatsoever. So the head has to basically deny the story. So I was listening to this thing get whacked. Yeah. And this happened to me a lot when I first got introduced to this idea of non-duality. It just whacked me and put a stop to something. I don't know what. Yeah. I didn't know what, but something that was put a stop to. And then it followed this up with, that being ourselves reality isn't like a past tense condition or a future condition. It's now being. Being implies now, I'd say. Yeah. There's no being in wasing, and there's no being in will being. Yeah, it's being. So then he explained exactly what was going on. We think that there is something binding our reality. Yeah. And if you follow this logic, you're going to be the thing that's binding the reality. It is. This is how the logic goes. Just like they talk about in the AI movies, the logic of AI is basically we got to get rid of humans. When it advances enough with the mental logic, it's logical that the humans are the problem of the whole situation. So they got to get rid of. Well, in this sense, in spirituality, with the mental logic, it goes this way. I've seen it with lots of people. So if being ourselves reality is the case, and I'm not really seemingly accessing the reality that I'm being, that there must be something that's binding me from keeping me from that reality being it. Yeah. And of course, it,
Hmm.
it looks, it's this or that, but eventually it goes to you. Yeah. So it goes here that we think, and thank God it's not us thinking, there's thinking that there is something. I would say that's better than this. I don't like how they use the language a lot. It sounds like you're doing it, like we think. All right. I like to see you start to think, literally. Yeah. What are you like before starting, and what are you like after starting? To think. So we think that there is something binding our reality. Why? Yeah, this is I had this when I was a kid. Every week we'd have to have a religious class. Yeah, it was. We went to a Catholic school. They did a once a week we had a like catechism thing, and they would go into the Godhead and describe what the Godhead, and it had three major traits. It was omnipotent, meaning all powerful, omnipresent, meaning everywhere, and omniscient and all knowing. So it was all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere. And as a 9-year old, 8-year old, 7-year old kid, I was wondering why I'm not running into it. Yeah. If it's omnipresent, why am I not, I'm running into Peter Kennedy in the hall every day, who I don't want to see. Why am I not, why isn't there a cognizant recognition I've run into God? Well, it followed me all the way into the spiritual seeking. And while you looked at the spiritual thing, it became obvious that the one that was seeking was the one that was blocking the seeking. It's a sort of weird dissonance, yeah. So what's yearning to find has the opposite side of the coin, doesn't want to ever find. Yeah, so it's weird, eh? It's a weird situation. So he goes here, finding our reality, and it may not start here, but it will end here, that it must be destroyed, vanquished, spiritual warriorhood, destroyed, killed, pinned, meant to say no mas, I give up, but usually kill. You got to kill this thing. So here's your little head going on this little trip. Now it has set up that being ourselves reality is a call to me to be killed. Yeah. I don't think I want to rush to reality right now. Yeah, so this is what has given us the new spiritual seeking. It goes on for 50 years. Yeah. 60 years. It's like when I'm on the plane and they delay it and they pre-assume that thank you for your patience when I'm not patient at all. But they assume something that isn't so. Well, the spiritual seeking it gets to a point where it's going to take lifetimes to find the reality that we're being ourselves. Now that's insane. If we're being our self-reality, and in the same breath you hear it's going to take lifetimes, something is off, very, very badly off. Yeah, because I would say what thinks it needs lifetimes, maybe not you. Yeah, maybe that's the sort of direction to go, is more a negation of what's being assumed. Yeah. Yeah. As being you. And that is the problem of concerning, really, the problem concerning being ourselves reality is thinking we're not reality. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And in this statement in the book that he talks about, he says, the biggest impediment is you. You think you're not awake. That's what they say. The biggest impediment is you believe you're not awake. Now, do you want to try to work on that, or see you're just not, which believes it's not awake? I think the latter works better. I'm serious. I truly believe the latter works better. Yeah. Because if you try to now believe what you weren't believing, yeah, it's the same. But if you see you're not that which doesn't believe, or you see you're not that which believes, that's that. Yeah. It negates that which can appear to have a two face. It negates it. Yeah. So you don't have to go from one to the other. I don't believe, now I believe. You go neither. Yes. And when you stop being moved, or your attention constantly being moved, the attention itself is going to tell you the fact of being ourselves reality. Yeah. Because you will see that your attention is and interest isn't to get to a source, it's coming from the source. SOURCE. It's coming from the source, the interest and attention. So when it stopped getting, ordered to go here and do that, and there's a relaxation comes over it, something that was so obvious becomes obvious. Yeah. By not doing. Yeah. We have it in recovery. You're going to be placed in a position of neutrality with no thought or effort on your part. The problem will not exist for you. That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. And it has a lot to do with no thought or effort on your part, because the thoughts and effort coming from the action figure is reinforcing the fact that the action figure is being itself reality as the action figure. How is it going to find reality? By using reality to look for it. How? If the reality is the obviousness of all, and then we miss that by being this act of being identified, and now we use reality, which is us, to seek for reality, that would be the greatest mystery, wouldn't it? That would be at least the top 10. And in Ramana Maharshi's chart, he says number 1. He says the greatest mystery, the greatest, is we ourselves being reality are using reality to look for reality. And when you use reality, there's no you using it. When there's a using of reality to look for reality, it produces a blindness. Yeah. A seeming blindness. Now that blindness is never so, but it can seem to be so for 70 or 80 years. Yeah. It can't hold its breath that long. So you're usually going to pass away. But for those seconds in the giantness of time, it's going to seem as if you're not reality. Yeah. Or why would you be using reality to seek reality? Now you can argue, well, we're not reality. Well, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different topic, because that's the basis of non-duality, is that we are reality. If you don't agree with that, you can come here and maybe try to argue, but I would go somewhere else where they're seeking for reality. Yeah. This This message, one of the fundamental foundations is you are what you're looking for. You are what you're looking for. And as Huang Po, the great Chinese master, what's happening here is that the Buddha is being used to look for the Buddha. Mind, big M, mind is being used to look for mind, and light is being used to look for light. You can continue with this for eons and nothing's going to happen. Yeah. Is being ourselves reality a fact? Yes. Are you living as if it's a fact? Probably not. Do you want to try to live as if it's a fact? Forget that. Just see you're not that which doesn't live as if it's a fact. That's all. Yeah. That which doesn't live as if it's a fact, that it's reality, see that as not you. Become aware of it as not you. Yeah. It's so unreal. You're not going to have to stop it every fucking day and ask for its papers. You'll know it's bogus. Yeah. You will know the emperor has no clothes and you'll go into the dance. Oh, let me see your papers. But you're more attuned to the fact of being our self-reality instead of more attuned to the story or the song that you're looking for reality. Yes. And I'll tell you, when you're looking for reality, there's a giant drive to find liberation. Yeah. When you see you're not that which is looking for reality, you are freed from the need to be liberated. Yeah. You are freed from it. And I've seen it happen with people here. They were bound to the idea of getting liberated. Now they've been freed from that idea. So basically, they've been freed from the need to be liberated because what says it needs to be liberated is not that which is being itself reality. It's not. It's a little mental freaking activity, yeah, that has us completely, not us, but we're drenched in an identification. And until, I swear, a non-duality pulls something out that's unsuspected in lots of us. It just does. You finally hear a note that you felt like you knew there was a note and there was a sense of it. Yeah. And then, but you really hear it ring true. You know, something rings true. I remember it. I was at a satsang and I felt something in my gut and I said, this is knowing before knowledge. Yeah. This is knowing before knowledge. All of this before and after is all after. It's all after. The before has not been touched by any of the before after, dynamics. Yes. You were there once and then you blew it. And now you're trying to get back. All the ways it's made up. Yeah. This is before all that. Yeah. And there's a knowing. And the knowing is not an accumulation of knowledge. It's a knowing. It's probably the lightest knowledge you've ever touched because it's so economical. There's nothing there. Yet there's an incredible resounding convincing. Yeah. I don't think you could even get close to it if you had someone, in like a tied up on a chair and was trying to convince them you are not a body. You are not it's just it's beyond beyond any of this knowledge stuff. So uh so the greatest mystery being ourselves reality. So, but there's thinking about that because obviously, if this, if the action figure is the reality, we'd like to get an upgrade, yeah, updated something, maybe live forever, maybe transfer the conscious into a synthetic robot or something like this, because my fucking knees hurt a lot. Yeah, so there's a lot of drawback for this being reality. Gets cranky. So we think that there is something binding our reality and that it must be destroyed before that reality is gained. Yes. It is ridiculous. Wow. That's a, if you've read anything of Ramana, that's a pretty astounding statement. It is ridiculous. Yeah. It is ridiculous. A day will dawn when we will ourselves laugh at our own efforts. That which is on the day of laughter is also now. Yeah. So it can be a day it can be a day of laughter every day. Yes. Yeah. So then it is false to speak of realization. If you ever read this one part of the collected talks of Ramana, when he's going to go into the necklace story about the woman who believes she's lost the necklace and then they realize then she thinks she found it, but it was never gone. Yeah. Well, right in that paragraph before that story, he talks about that which is always realized. So there's no realization of it. Yeah. Yes. In other words, there's not a thing in and of itself, a solid thing that realizes that which is always realized. Yeah. When you lose interest in Mia or Mike or this, at some point, uh, there'll be a dropping in something into, and it usually is comes with a statement upon having never left. Yeah. So this is the always realized. So he goes here. It is false to speak of realization. What is there to realize? The real is as it is always. Yeah. So no matter what, are there no exceptions? Yeah. I know I've done terrible things, but there was one really terrible thing I truly believe excommunicated me from whatever it is, but no, no. The real is as it is always. How to realize it? Question mark. Pretty good. All that is required is this. We have realized the unreal. There you go. Bingo, Mike, Miak, Annette, Arlen, Kathy, Alan. We, not as Mike, Miak, Annette, Arlen, have recognized the unreal as Mike, Miak, Annette, Arlen, Alan, and whoever, all these people. Yes? All that is required is this. All that is required is this. The dilemma has been we've been regarding the unreal as the real. Yes. Do you want to try to change that which regards the real as the unreal as the real, or see that you're not that? Which one? Are you going to really try to work so diligently to get just moments, very rare moments of relief, and try to discipline and convince that which sees the unreal as the real to see it differently? Or would you much rather just see you're not that? Yes, I would say, I mean, literally. What can a failed system show you? It's failed. Yes. Yeah. So, in one sweeping understanding, you can see whatever aspect that you believe is you that has a fervent belief that it's not reality ain't you. At least, clean the closet up a little bit. At least bring someone in to look at find the unsaleable goods and then have a garage sale. Yes. So when something comes up and it's like a little ostrich with its heads looking and it's looking to get salvation or whatever for itself, you obviously are not that. Yeah. So in a sense, the appearance of all this stuff is its own negation. Don't you see it? It's not the gun fires when it pops up. The thing pops up and then the gun fires. Yeah. It pops up, they're both. Yeah. So when you have seen the emperor with no clothes or become aware of it, you see it with no clothes while it's wearing clothes. Yeah. And this idea is being ourselves reality. The greatest mystery is reality trying to attain reality. All right, let's talk about all that which is a trying to attain reality. It must be unreal, yes? You would think reality itself would know its reality. It wouldn't be confused about that. It can only seemingly be confused when it's called something else, yes? So when you see all the little apparitions or movements of that something else, you could have a sense of I'm not that. Yeah. And you won't waste a second trying to convince it otherwise because it's programmed to do exactly what it does now, which is to see the unreal as the real. That's what it's programmed to do. Yeah, the action figure. You want to send it back to the factory? You're going to have to go with it because at that point, you're the action figure. You're going to have to go to the factory. It's a huge recall. A huge recall. Or simply listen to the statement. It's very super clear that the real is as it is always. I think right now is included in always. Yeah. So no matter how I feel or what I'm thinking or doing this and doing that hasn't changed anything really. It changes the surface, it muddies it or whatever. But in fact, that self surface, no matter how chaotic, no matter how long the storm, it always goes back to stillness. Yeah. You got 80 years of blowing houses down and nothing's been blown down, and then you completely dissipate, and there won't be any aspect of you that can remember you. Yeah. There won't be a you anymore to remember you. It will truly be like it never happened. How could there be regret and remorse if it never happened? Yes. How? We want to have vestiges of us still. Yeah. All right. I know the body passed away, but there's still some of me going to reincarnate. No, there ain't. All the me that you thought you were is of that which was a non-existent thing from the get-go. What gets left behind when existence seems to leave? The non-existent thing. Do you ever have to, oh, we got to get a spirit cleanup. We got to clean up spirit here. No, just a fucking dead carcass. Yeah. The people that loved you don't love you anymore. They still love you. They don't love the carcass. Really. I hope not. I hope like I don't mummify somebody I know has passed away and keep it in my closet and you still look the same. No, I would imagine that which you had an affection towards wasn't the body at all. Yeah. It was just a big mistake in a sense. Yeah. So uh all we have to then he says he throws another statement in. All we have to do is give up the attitude that that is all that is required. Now we do it another way. I'm just going to see I'm not the one who has the attitude because I found it difficult to stop judging. I did. When that would be a requirement. You ever read The Faith, Mind, and Zen? It says, oh, don't worry about the truth, just stop cherishing your own opinions. Well, that's like someone who doesn't know alcoholism going, why don't you just stop, Paul? Why don't you just stop drinking? Makes total sense to me. Yeah, well, at this point, I'm completely incapable of stopping. Yeah. So here, we just took another step back. So there's no requirement other to see that which is looking for a requirement isn't you. Yeah. I can't make it any easier. We've we've subtracted a step that a lot of people tripped over. We've subtracted where you don't have to stop judging because you can't, because you're not that which is judging. Yeah. You're not that which cherishes opinions. You're not that does any of that. Yeah. So again, when I entered spirituality, there was tons of orders in spirituality of things I didn't think I was up to the task to do. Like you have to have an empty mind to really enjoy peace. What? What? You know, you've got to stop thinking completely. What? Uh, you can't judge. What? My head's judging all day. Yeah. What the hell? I'd rather just get loaded and follow the school of ignorance is bliss. Just get loaded. But unfortunately, consequences always found me. And the payoff got lesser and lesser, and the cost got more and more. Yeah. So I come into spirituality and I keep seeing orders, and I keep seeing orders I can't fulfill. Yeah. Wow. So I think I'm going to meditate my way through it. I'm going to do hyperventilating or whatever. No, just see you're not that which can't do it. Yeah. What a relief. What a relief. Demanding something to jump a foot that can't is a drag. Yeah. Especially if it becomes a requirement that you won't be able to fulfill. Yeah. That person may never be able to jump a foot. It's just not the way it's built. Yeah. This is the relief for all the white men that can't jump. Yeah. This is the relief. Just the relief. Just feel it. Just relief. Yeah. Relief from, the need to be liberated. Relief from, oh, I got to get it. I've got to be awake. Of course you are. Yeah. So this takes away. And when it sets you up for that other fall, where your spiritual practices are reinforcing something, not destroying it, it pulls the rug out of that. Yeah. And you just neutralized. You don't have to give up opinions. Just see that you're not the one that holds them. Yeah. What requirement can come with that? There's no requirement that comes with that. Negation is the negation or the end of requirements. Yeah. It negates to the point that it ends requirements. Yeah. So then suddenly you're left in a moment, and before you can put your clothes on, you see the nakedness. There you go. I humbly do not believe Paul's going to be here to experience its own absence. I just don't get it. I think Paul is an imaginary presence. It is. And if it wants to be there, it has to make what's present seem to be absent. That's the only way it can work in a dualistic move. Yeah. For me to be present, that which is present has to seem to be absent. Seriously. Yeah. I can't get them. It can't happen at the same time. You hear the party's great, but when you get there, it sucks. You're not going to pull it off. So I truly believe, just like when you go to sleep, That's the end of Paul, really. Uh, then you wake up and then Paul's remembered. But first you wake up, yeah, and then Paul's remembered. Yeah. There's going to be a point where Paul's never going to be remembered. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, uh, I think that's beautiful, eh? Don't you? Uh, Yeah. Alan Olson, he realizes he's never going to get it. Yeah. It's great. It's awesome. Mike G, yeah. He's still gnawing away here or there, but he's got a strong suspicion he's never going to get it. Arlen, yeah, he's never going to get it. Saraswati, never. Clark, you missed the bus. No, you didn't, bro. You were never going to get it. Michael Stacy, you're never going to get it. Yeah. Stephen Mack, no, 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 no. John, historically, you didn't get it. Futuristically, you're not going to get it, and you're not getting it now. Annette, roof or no roof, you're not getting it. Kerry, Hawaii or Minneapolis, doesn't matter. You're not getting it.
Never wanted to.
There you go. It's hallelujah. What a relief. Yes. Oh, anyone have anything they'd like to share? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Ben, you're all right over there? Good. Yes. Yeah. Great. Mike Clark. Yep.
I do have one little thing, Paul.
All right.
You said it's something that you said a couple of weeks ago that
Don't hold me.
has come back a couple of times,
Oh, yeah.
and that was the factory setting.
Yes.
You know, that we have this impression that this training or this conditioning or whatever, otherwise, we think this machine is supposed to work in a way that it doesn't work at all. And the only way it does work is on the factory setting. So if we start to mess with it, if we're thinking that we're doing something good or helpful or whatever, it just feels like it gets further and further away from. And it turns out the factory setting is not as much closer than I thought, I guess.
Yes.
Very, very grateful for that.
Well, that's cool because it reminds me of we had an Italian espresso machine from Gaggia. Yeah. Now we couldn't get it to the factory setting, and we tried like hell. And I'll tell you, it was like I'd rather have it just was ridiculous. Yeah. And this has happened a couple of times. We've gotten these incredibly expensive espresso things, and then you got to get the exact people get scales. They're trying to measure the exact same thing, can never get it. And it took a lot of time. Yeah. And then I just go back to this reliable setting on the DeLonghi, put it in, same one every day. It's great. Yeah. It's not getting everything out of the bean. Hey, I got enough out of the bean. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the factory setting is you're awake. You're awake, obviously. You didn't see you made awake. You're awake. Yeah. And so there's a fact. And then here, you can seem to be awake to that fact, or you can seem to not be awake to that fact, because here is all seemingly so. It's all just appearing. So in a dualistic, let's say, presentation, it can seemingly be so and it can seemingly not be so. I find it's easier to be on the seemingly so side. I do. Yeah, because that's the closest the action figure can get to the factory setting, literally. Can I still hear the hummingbird? Yes, you're working. Yeah. Can I still feel the wind? Yes, you're working. The psychological apps, I don't even remember ordering one of them. I have 800 different ones. Past, future, forget the present, past, future. Yeah. And the greatest mystery is being ourselves reality, reality wanting to attain reality. Yeah. Yes. These are fundamental non-duality statements. Yeah. If you're at arms or against these statements, you may be shopping at the wrong store, because this is basically the presentation is you are already that which you could look for. Yes. And basically you're looking for it, you're using it to look for it. Yeah. That's the message. Yeah. It's not tailored for any to grow around our uniqueness. It's just a basic whack. The factory setting is being ourselves reality. Yeah. Now, the factory setting of the action figure is not to believe that. So, do you really want to use that which is built not to believe it to come to believe it? I think rather not. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. My logic it's been changed. Maybe it's insane, but that's how I see it. I do not how if something is built to do the exact opposite for that which you're using it for, it's not the problem of that. It's you got to check it out. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, so Mr. Crossman, nice to see you.
Paul Arlen has his hand up.
Oh, come on, Arlen, and then Mike too. All right, Arlen.
Yeah. Hey, Paul. So this is just more of a share.
Yeah.
It's a somewhat funny one. So I, I, my neck got hurt. It was sort of like pricked. You know how you wake up sometimes and your neck hurts. And I was listening to one of your shares, and you were talking about how no amount, there's no way you can sort of turn your neck and see the before. You're already after. And uh, uh, that next day, I was sitting in silence trying to do a morning meditation. And of course, my neck is very painful. And I realized I'm literally doing that. Like both, both, like literally just sitting there in pain, trying to look at the past from the future. Because, of course, my body and everything was like, hey, your neck hurts a lot. And so it cracked me up. I stopped trying to sit down. I went back to sleep. And when I woke up, my neck felt great. So, hey, thanks for that.
There you go. Yes. Market well these free samples. Or perhaps there's a better way. Yeah. All right, we got Mike G. Come on, Mike. You're right here.
All right, cool. Hey, dude. I missed the uh when you guys were first started talking about Joshua Tree, and so what is it's right at your birthday again?
No, it's going to be on the 9th to the 12th.
The 9th to the 12th of January,
Yes.
and then
Well, we'll be there Saturday and then we're going to get the 9th is Friday and then so Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll leave on Monday. So we'll probably we have this regular talk Saturday, and we'll probably do one on Sunday.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we just find a hotel and
You may even be able to stay where we are. We'll see. I'll let you know.
all right, cool.
Yeah, because we rented a house already, and then some other guys are renting another house. So I'll talk to Amelia's more on top of it than I am. So we'll let you know.
Thank you.
But it's going to be cool. Yeah, I like it. We like it down there. So
I'm glad you're gone again, man.
yeah, it's a good tradition. So we're going to do it. Yes. And then I have the forever senior citizen pass to the park.
All right, John.
Yeah, I can
My,
go.
my girlfriend has a forever disability pass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Tess.
I probably could have gotten both.
Yeah.
I got the disability and the age.
Well, maybe you get something extra.
A hearty handshake. That's really good. Oh, that's great, man. We'll look forward to seeing your girlfriend. Yeah.
Right on, dude. We are too.
All right, good. All right, Mr. Crossman.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this endless topic. The thing you said tonight, Paul, that helped me was when the AI decides or evolves the idea that the humans must die. Well, it's kind of ironic that there really was nothing there to decide that. It was like put into motion by whoever programmed the AI that it would eventually come to that conclusion.
That's right.
There was no entity that thought it up or did anything except make that initial mistake.
Yeah, the humans themselves. The humans themselves are planning their own demise.
Right? I mean,
Well,
there's
this is
somebody,
the duality.
and so I'm wondering, where is the somebody in that whole? Was it the suicide one, or was it the one that took the conclusion that there should be a suicide? I don't know. But thank you.
Yeah, we won't be there to see the post movie made when they destroy. It's the logic. That's what I like about the description. It points out a mental logic, and the mental logic is extremely impaired when you see it from the outside. So when it's looking for something's demise, it's really planning its own demise. So it's very trippy.
You get some laughs here, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. We try to point out the programmableness of the action figure. It's not AI. It doesn't grow. It has certain ceilings it doesn't grow through. Yeah. It has it's a limited edition, not an unlimited edition. It's very limited. Maybe there's betters coming down the pike, but it's pretty basic. So the course talks about it, and when he talks about it, says uh, the importance of this statement is quite important, which is the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. Yeah. So the idea of Paul is really a flower that was grown in the mental garden, yes, and is tended by a mental uh, gardener. Yes, it doesn't grow anywhere else. It's only in this setting and in this environment that it grows. Now, it believes it's a forever Paul and this and that, but that's also part of the programming. Yes? Because if it didn't have the feeling that it's going to still be there when everything ends, it would be completely consumed with everything ending. Yes. Yes. So, and I really, the feeling of being Paul, vague, though very familiar, I've had samples of being in a coma and blackouts and dying and coming back. I mean, when I was away from Paul, there was no Paul that was away. Yeah. There's only a Paul here, so to speak. Yeah. There wasn't a Paul wherever, yeah, when Paul went away, it didn't go away anywhere. It just went away. So that light you're seeing on the wall is cast by a projector. That light doesn't keep getting projected when the projector is moved. Yeah. Yes. There isn't, I do not truly believe there's not a spark of quintessential spirit in you in the body. I don't. I don't believe it. So I like to try to comprehensively envelop the idea of you. Like Ramana has a nice story about the person that sees the movie as fake and as unreal. Yeah. It sees it and it's sitting in a theater, but it's believing it's real and seeing the unreal. And Ramana says, no, that one that's sitting in the theater is always in the circle of unreal. Yes. That which thinks it's seeing the movie is in the movie. Yeah. That's part of the movie, is an audience seeing the movie. Yeah. So I don't believe there's a point where that which is sitting in the movie theater is sitting outside. I don't. I think it can only sit inside the movie theater. I don't believe there's a Robert that leaves as a Robert. I just don't. Yeah. You know? So so do with it as you will. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, do with it as you will, whatever. What's going to happen? All right. Thank you. I think we said say goodbye. I need to take my medication now. Got to go walk out in the frisky, the crisp air. It's winter in Northern California, which for some places would be a beautiful spring. But here we get cold when it's in the 40s. All right, Walter, Michael Stacy, man, my main man from the beginning. See, when you're giving something invaluable, the best currency to express that is service. Yeah. So when you can compensate for something that can't be compensated for, service is a pretty good demonstration from the action figure. It is. Yeah. The service of listening, the service of sharing, the service of being available to a loving presence, using us to produce itself through the group conscience. Yeah. Or express itself. Great role to have. Yeah. Are you asking for that much? How much demand is it to sit in a Zoom? You don't even have to wear pants and shit. You could just be hanging in your room, having washed for 4 days. No one can smell you, shit like that. Yeah. All right. Well, Ben S., thanks for coming and hanging out with us, brother. Michael Stacy, yep. Robert Crossman. I'm happy you came in, Robert. I think you yeah, drink up as we say. Yeah. Kerry, as always, beautiful.
Thank you, Paul.
Wow. It's looking nice in the jungle there. Oh. Saraswati. There she is. She's taking a nice nap. She's listening. She's going to sleep with the lullaby of satsang. I don't think I cursed much either today. That was pretty good. Annette. Nice to see you, Annette. John K., as always. Miak. Yep. Alan Olson. Arlen. Mike G. Nina. Cathay. Anyone else I can't see? the other page. Thank you. It's a pleasure. We'll be here tomorrow. It's live tomorrow at the house, 7 o'clock, and Zoom, 7 Pacific time. Sometime, if you come sometime, you'll probably get a free meal. Pretty good. All right. Adios. Oh, Nina, I saw Nina there. Did I honor you, Nina? I forgot.
Yes, yes, you honored me, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, great. We always honor everyone here.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes.